Welcome to the Ambitious Bookkeeper Podcast and YouTube channel. I am going to talk to you today about whether it's time to switch your clients to Xero. And if you're an entrepreneur watching this, there is some relevant stuff in here for you. I am mainly going to be talking about what it would be like to migrate a client base over to Xero, but we are going to talk about whether or not you should move to Xero and kind of how to make that decision from the beginning. So let's dive in. Hey, and welcome to the Ambitious Bookkeeper Podcast. I'm Serena Shoup, CPA, a mom of three, and I've been running a virtual bookkeeping business from my home since 2017. You are in the right place if you are a bookkeeper, accountant, or an accounting student, and you believe and know in your heart that your purpose is bigger than sitting in a cubicle. If you're ready to learn some actionable tips and strategies for starting and growing your accounting business, then I hope you stick around. So earlier on in my entrepreneurial bookkeeping journey, I actually started out knowing that I wanted to be on Xero. However, I also worked a lot with QuickBooks Online and knew that most of the clients that were coming my way were already on QuickBooks Online. So there's no really getting around learning it and being able to utilize it. But what I did start out with is putting my own books on Xero. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Maybe a couple years into my bookkeeping business, I realized that I did not want to be working in any other platform besides Xero. So we made the transition to moving all of our existing clients onto Xero or transitioning them out of the practice completely. And we had already been putting new clients onto Xero as we had drawn a line in the sand and said, we're no longer accepting any clients that are not on Xero. So I've done things throughout my firm to make sure that we aren't bringing on clients that aren't willing to switch over to Xero. So that's a big piece of this, is the communication and the positioning of the software that you're going to be using. These days, we still get clients that come to us on QuickBooks Online or other platforms, and we are just very clear that we only work in Xero, but we do migrate, and we do migrate people for free. That's probably something I'll have to get into in another episode to dive in why it is that we do that and how we're able to do that. But as I promised, in this episode, I am talking to you about whether or not it's time to switch to Xero. So I've been noticing and hearing a lot from my community of people who are getting fed up with QuickBooks Online. Number one, because they're constantly raising the price, which most software does. QuickBooks Online does tend to raise their software more frequently than any other software I've ever seen. But that's one of the major gripes, is the price of it. Another major gripe for the accounting community is every time you log in, there's a new visual interface, and it's becoming really difficult to get in there and do the things that you want. I still obviously have poked around in QuickBooks Online because we get clients coming to us already on that system. We still have to kind of know it. And I didn't realize this was such a problem because I log in so infrequently that, of course, it's always going to be different when I log in. But there are bookkeepers and business owners that are logging in daily and things are changing daily, which is honestly just absurd to me that a software would do that and not give some sort of warning. I'm not a subscriber of QuickBooks Online, so I haven't been getting any of the emails that have been going out. But yeah, another major gripe that I've heard happening is that QuickBooks Online is directly pitching your clients. So as a business owner, if you were the one that subscribed to your QuickBooks Online file, you might be getting targeted by emails that are letting you know about a service called QuickBooks Live, which is basically having QuickBooks do your bookkeeping for you. If you're a bookkeeper and accountant watching this, you already know that what I'm about to say. But if you're an entrepreneur watching this, you probably don't want QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Live doing your bookkeeping if you have a nuanced business. And to be honest, most businesses are. So one of the issues that we come across when we take over files that have been managed by QuickBooks Online or work with clients who have used the QuickBooks Online service is that they get passed around from hands to hands, and it's not a consistent person or point of contact that you're involved with. So the bookkeeping is not done in a consistent way. Sometimes things will be categorized to one category, and then the next month, that same type of transaction, same vendor will be categorized completely different. And that makes it really difficult to have consistent reports that you can rely on and make decisions, right? So those are kind of the main gripes right now with QuickBooks Online. And in my community and online, I'm a part of lots of bookkeeping groups. I have seen so many complaints about all of these issues and more, especially if you have used QuickBooks Payroll. That has its own issues. There's also issues of QuickBooks just glitching out and not allowing you to do the things that you need to do, or having weird things happen with your transactions, duplications, all sorts of weird things happening. And people are really fed up. So, rightly so. And I'm sitting over here kind of like chuckling to myself because I don't have to really deal with that, thankfully, because I'm on a platform that, number one, doesn't pitch our customers and clients for their own service. They actually really care about us as partners. Our customer support is amazing. I could go on and on and on. That's for a different episode, a different video, why I love Xero so much. In fact, you can actually listen to that on my podcast. If you scroll back a little bit, I'll link that in the show notes. And I'm over here just kind of like, dang, that sucks. But how can I actually help? Well, glad you're here, because we're going to talk through whether or not it's time to switch to Xero. So grab a notebook and a pen, and we are going to give you a little step-by-step on how to evaluate whether or not it's time to move over to Xero and the steps you want to take if the answer is yes. All right, write this down with me. Is it time to switch? Here's how you're going to know. Maybe you're even evaluating switching from a completely different platform, not QuickBooks Online. I know I'm throwing a lot of shade over there to our folks over at Intuit, but maybe you're coming from a completely different platform as well, and you are trying to navigate the decision of, is it time to switch over to Xero specifically? Although this process would work for switching to any other platform, because it's just kind of a way to help you make the decision. And then I'll get into some of the benefits of moving over to Xero specifically. So, number one, what are the actual issues that you're facing? Take some time to journal it out, bullet point, do a whole list of all the cons, right? All the issues that you're having with QuickBooks, whether it's the glitches, the lack of customer support, maybe it's the user interface, the new user interface, and maybe it's the way that it makes things take longer to achieve certain outcomes or perform certain processes. Maybe it's the price. So take a moment to pause this and write down all of the things that you hate about QuickBooks or any other platform that you're currently using. Next, I want you to actually reach out to the platform you're considering. In this scenario, we're talking about Xero. So I want you to actually reach out to Xero and get on their list to join their partner program, because you will be assigned and you will have to have a conversation with somebody at Xero before you can actually become a partner. I'm going to link the link to becoming a partner in the show notes or below where you're watching this video. And I say this early on in the process because you are going to be assigned a partner advisor, I think is what they call them. And that partner advisor is going to be with you every step of the way throughout the rest of this process. So I would say start the conversation with them and talk to them about this list of things that you're having issues with, and ask them pointedly, like, are these things solvable with Xero? Am I going to have these same issues? This is a process we do with our clients that is really heavily involved and it really leans on QuickBooks. What does it look like to do that in Xero? And they'll be able to demo that for you or talk you through it, basically. The next thing I want you to do is, if one of your gripes is Intuit is pitching my clients for their services, I want you to sit back and actually reflect, like, have you lost a client to QuickBooks Live? If not, are your clients even reading those emails? Maybe you're finding this out because your clients are sending them to you, but the fact that your clients are sending you this email or forwarding you whatever QuickBooks has sent them probably means that, like, either A, they're not satisfied with the level of service you're giving or the price or something along the way. So they're alerting you to this other option. And what a blessing to be alerted to that and to be able to understand and open up the conversation with your client of, hey, is there something that we're not doing that you think would be solved by this? How can we work this out? Maybe you haven't done a great job in presenting the value of your service and what it looks like to work with you. So that's a great opportunity to reflect a little bit and decide, am I really at risk for QuickBooks taking my clients? And if not, I mean, obviously there's always a risk of losing a client, whether it's to QuickBooks Online or to another bookkeeping firm that is cheaper than you or better than you or faster than you or a higher touch service. It's good to keep you on your toes and make sure that you're actually competitive in the market. So really sit back and decide, like, have I lost a client to QuickBooks Live? If not, maybe that's something you can cross off that list and just address the rest of the issues. Because I can already tell you right now, when you go and talk to Xero, they are not there to steal our clients. They are actually partnering with us to make our firms better, which I'm going to get into how that plays out a little bit later in this episode. Okay, if one of the reasons that you are contemplating switching, and one of the main reasons is this, that you don't like the new interface and the AI enhancements and everything that are coming out, if this is the main or even the only reason that you're contemplating switching, I'm going to discourage you, because whether you stay with QuickBooks Online or switch to a whole new platform like Xero, you are going to experience the learning curve of learning a new platform, creating new processes, and basically overhauling the way that you work with clients. So if that is the main driver of you wanting to switch over to Xero, and none of those other reasons and examples I gave you are really applicable, then maybe it's not the right time for you to move over, because it's going to be a time investment. There's no doubt about that. And if you're going to invest your time in learning a new platform, is the interface, the new interface in QuickBooks Online, actually that drastically different to where it makes more sense to spend hours and weeks, or maybe more, especially if you have a team to train them, to learn an entirely new platform and create all the new processes for all of your clients, migrate your clients, have the conversations with your clients, everything that's involved in moving everybody to a completely new platform is going to be so much more time than it would be to actually just sit down and learn how to utilize QuickBooks Online, because the core of the program, the foundations of it, are probably not changing all that much. So either way, you're going to invest time. Do you want to invest a few hours of going through the trainings that Intuit has put out on how to navigate the new program and get recertified? Or do you want to overhaul your entire firm and move all of your clients to a completely new platform and all of that? Like, I'm not saying that it won't be worth it, because I personally think it would be worth it for a lot of firms. But for some, I don't think it will be. So let's talk more about the intricacies and what's involved in moving to a completely new program for your entire firm and what that would look like. if you decide that you're ready to move to Xero. Number one, I already mentioned this, but I want you to go to the link in the show notes, the link below this video if you're watching, and apply to become a partner. And what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to just sign up like you did with QuickBooks Online Accountant and just have access automatically, because Xero is actually vetting their partners and wanting to make sure it's a good fit and that they're able to help you with your practice and actually get your clients moved over. So start by filling out that application. It should only take you about 2 minutes. The link is in the show notes. Go do that right now. Okay, and if you've done that, the next thing I want you to do is listen to the rest of this episode, because it's going to prepare you for what's next, because you do have to get on a call with someone at Xero and talk to them about your plans. So hopefully you actually did what I asked you earlier and wrote down all of the gripes that you have with QuickBooks Online or any other platform that you're considering moving away from. And you're going to be ready to get on a call with someone at Xero. I'm not quite sure what the turnaround time would be, but you'll probably be getting an email to schedule a call with someone. Or maybe they will just call you on their own. I don't really know how it works these days. It's been so long since I became a Xero partner. So the next thing, when you get accepted into their partner program, you are going to be given a free version of the premium plan that they have for your firm books. And I want you to actually either migrate yourself or start fresh in Xero so that you can learn how to use the program on your own books where the stakes are low. Probably the most time efficient thing to do would be just to start with this previous month, connect all your bank accounts, go through the process of setting up your own books while you are going through the Xero Partner certification, because that's going to show you exactly how you're supposed to be utilizing the program to its best and highest abilities. And I'm always a huge proponent of going through certifications as you're actually working through it in real life on a client or on yourself, because everything's going to stick a lot more. You're going to retain the information, and this is really going to allow you to understand whether or not this is actually the program that you want to be moving all of your clients to. The next thing you're going to do, and this is probably going to be a conversation that either comes up on your first call with your Xero Partner advisor, or maybe you book another call with them later on, is coming up with a rollout plan. And I know a lot of you are probably listening and thinking, like, you actually have a dedicated, basically account manager at Xero to talk to. And yes, and they're not just a salesperson. They're actually there to support you as you grow your business. So one of the conversations I'm going to ask you to have with them is talking about having a plan to roll out all of your clients, and they can actually help you through this. And I just think it's a really awesome resource. The other thing is, once you dive into your partner certification, in the training portal that they have for Xero partners, there is a migration certification course. And this is going to be another resource in addition to that plan that you lay out with your account manager. This resource is going to help you really understand what it looks like to how to do a migration, how to plan out your migrations, and resources that are available to you to help with the migration. And one of the resources that I use is called JetConvert. There are multiple other programs that will actually do the heavy lifting of the migration for you, of like bringing all the transactions in. But JetConvert, at least as I know right now, they do have a subsidy. Xero will subsidize some of that migration fee. And that's part of why we do the migration for free for clients that come to us from QuickBooks Online, because we use that service called JetConvert, and all of that kind of happens in the background. And yes, we do have to pay for it, because we usually end up paying for like a higher version of it so that we have more history. But like the minimum version, like the lowest version that you can, the option, I guess, that you can choose, I believe it ends up getting 100% subsidized through Xero. And so you can migrate people on that basic option for free or next to free. Definitely, when you become a Xero partner, go through that Xero migration certification after you go through the Xero certification and start practicing on your books. So as you're listening to this, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, this is definitely something that I am it's going to take months to roll this out, because unless you can knock out your Xero certification in a weekend, and then the next weekend, you're knocking out your migration certification, and then the following week, you're doing 3 weeks worth of bookkeeping for your own firm, or maybe that's at the point where you decide to migrate your own firm. We've already, in an ideal world, you're already using up multiple weeks. So, and that's just the portion of learning the process in the new software. So I hope I'm not deterring anyone from moving to Xero. I just want to be completely transparent that you want to make sure you have the bandwidth for this project, because even just the process of learning the new software is going to take time. Now, there is an ROI on this, obviously, because the program is cheaper than QuickBooks Online. The base plan for Xero starts at $20 a month. And so you can save a lot for your clients, especially if you are handling the billing for them and you're including that in your fee. And there's lots of other benefits of moving to Xero. I personally have never had all the glitching and issues that come along with QuickBooks. The interface is really simple and clean. They are overhauling their interface too, but not as much. Not everything is changing. They're just changing a few menu items. It's still simple and clean. They are rolling out an AI option, but again, it doesn't change the way that you have your workflows. It just helps enhance a few things. And yeah, so let's rewind a little bit and talk about coming up with that rollout plan. One of the things that you want to think about is which clients you want to roll out to first. And I would suggest those clients would be the ones that don't ever log into their bookkeeping software. You're doing everything for them, or pretty much everything for them, and you're just issuing reports for them. If you have clients that are like that literally never log into QuickBooks and don't care what system they're on, those are the clients you're going to move over first. And I don't suggest rolling everything out at once. I suggest breaking it up into groups of clients and creating a plan for however long that's going to take with all the clients that you have. That could take an entire year. I know when I made the decision to migrate and move to being 100% Xero practice, it was about a year before we had everybody on Xero, and some clients dropped off, some new clients came on, and we put them on Xero, and then we migrated a few of our existing clients. And that whole process took about a year, and I think at that point only had maybe 10 clients. So yeah, it can take a while depending on how much other stuff you have going on. As part of that rollout plan, you want to plan communication with your clients. Now, whether you want to warn them that you're evaluating new software initially and then kind of keep them in the loop as the process goes on, or if you want to wait and figure out how exactly this is going to happen and then tell them, that's your prerogative. I prefer to let my clients in on the behind the scenes of how things are running and keep communication open most of the time. And so I would opt for personally letting them know that we are looking at rolling everyone into a new software, just so that they know it's coming and they are not blindsided. And if they really, really don't want to switch off of QuickBooks Online, then they will go look for another bookkeeper. And maybe if you are warning them that this is a thing that you're considering, they might come back and say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're considering moving to a different software. I really have been having this, and this issue with QuickBooks Online, especially if they're the type of clients that actually log in and use their file. You might glean some more information that will help you make this decision. So that's pretty much what I've got for you when it comes to evaluating and creating a plan to move all of your clients to Xero. Over the next few months, I am creating a lot more content around Xero here on this channel. if you're watching on YouTube. If you're just listening to the podcast, I highly encourage you to go over to YouTube and subscribe so that you know when new videos drop. We are kind of shifting the podcast to be more YouTube video focused. And so I would love to see you over on YouTube. Make sure you come over and say hello. Comment below this video if you're watching on YouTube, and let me know if moving to Xero is something that you've been considering and how helpful this content is. And I would also love to know if you are planning to move to Xero, or you're new in your firm, or you're an entrepreneur and you're watching and you want to explore more about Xero. I would love to know what type of content that you want to see over here. So comment below this video if you have suggestions, or go shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm at Ambitious Bookkeeper. I would love to know if this content is resonating with you and what else you would like to see on the channel. If you're an entrepreneur and you got this far in the video, thank you for hanging out and watching till the end. For you, if you are interested in exploring moving from QuickBooks Online to Xero, or from any other platform, or maybe you are brand new in business and you don't have a bookkeeping setup and you're just kind of evaluating options, I don't know how you landed on this video, but welcome, and I can help you with that. So I'm going to drop my link in the show notes on how to book a call or fill out our interest form. And we are happy to do a Xero demo with you and help you figure out if Xero is the right choice for your business. Thank you to everyone who helps make this podcast possible. Content and interviews are produced by me, Serena Shoup. Our intro and outro music is written and performed by my brother, Ian Gilliam. Editing is also by Ian, using his awesome sound engineering skills along with Descript software. Hosting and publishing is by Buzzsprout, and you can check out the show notes for links to all of these amazing resources and resources mentioned in the episode.
Be ambitious.